Hello, everyone. Welcome to my new house, my new mural. Just kidding. Just a jokester today. No, this mural is at Mayfly, and that is where I happen to be. I'm not that good at green screening yet. But yes, welcome, everyone. I'm coming at you live from Mayfly. It's a tap room and a bottle shop in the Kenton neighborhood in Portland, and it is just one of our favorites. I wish that I could just like take the computer around, but I like it all set up with plugs and things like that, so I'm not going to touch anything. But I wish I could just like show you around because they have a jungle of plants. It's like plant goals. It's what I like to think that my house looks like when you guys like peek in and see all my plants. This is like phenomenally better than what I have. But anyways, I'm just teasing you about it to get you guys to come and get all the beverages from them. But anyways, welcome to our class this morning. Thank you guys for being a little patient. I know I didn't get on here as early as I wanted to. Technical difficulties, finding new plugins, things, you get your routine when you're teaching from your house and then you teach from somewhere else and all of a sudden you're like, why do I sound like a robot on the computer? Let me restart it with 1 minute to spare. So anyways, hopefully I don't sound like a robot. I'm just gonna take a quick peek. I don't have any texts from Jamie telling me that I sound like a robot. So thinking my voice is good. I'm thinking you guys can see me. So let's get started. But welcome to your practice. I hope you guys enjoy the mural behind me. There's so much more. Again, maybe at the end of class, I'll flip the screen so you guys can see more of it. But I'm Seville, welcome. And as I was planning class, with Saturday classes, I'm either one way or the other. Either I want to just chill out hard and basically like have nap time where I kind of move and definitely breathe, or I'm like, I need to move and I need to get this week just out of my system, out of my body, out of my breath. And today I'm feeling the latter. So this is going to be a moving practice where we're just going to get funky, get groovy, maybe move through things that we would traditionally hold. But if you are in that former mind state where you need basically a great nap with minimal moving and lots of breathing, then I recommend you do that for yourself. And I will offer moments of pause and hold while the rest of us boogie on down. So whatever you're needing for your practice, I highly recommend that you take that and exactly what you need. We are going to get started on our backs. And if you're playlisting, the playlist is in the link of the comments. It's also on the Instagram. So like I said, if you're playlisting, let's press play. And we'll start to sync on back. And yogi's choice on whether or not you are going to have the knees bent, whether you're going to have them out, whether you're going to have the arms alongside the body or resting on the body. If you do have the legs extended and the arms alongside the body, I do recommend coming into what I like to call great big starfish pose. So essentially you are going to just bring the legs about mat's width distance, let the feet splay out, bring the arms off of the mat as well. Just allow yourself to take up some space here. And maybe the eyes are open. And if they're open, just allow the gaze to get nice and hazy. Or maybe the eyes are closed. I feel like I say this every time I teach a Saturday class, but I'm going to say it again. I like to think of these Saturday morning classes as a great big reset button from the week, where we can let all of the things, good, bad, and different, go from the week, where we can press pause while we're on our mat to breathe, to reconnect, to let go. Then as we're moving on our mats, that's when the reset button gets hit. If that resonates with you, of needing that reset, needing that pause, is what you're needing from your practice today, feel free to let that intention settle within the breath and the body and in the mind. But if there's something else that you're needing from your practice, take a few moments to let that settle in. And before we get too cozy here and just end up with blankets on top of us, maybe back in bed, let's start to wake up the body. Let's wiggle the fingers and toes. Maybe taking a moment to touch the thumb to each fingertip. And start to wake up the legs a little bit. So if you had the legs in that great big starfish pose, let's bring the legs back onto the mat. And we'll start to press the heels toward the front of the mat, almost as if you're pressing the feet into a wall. And let's inhale the hands up to the sky. Let's roll the wrists around. One way, then another. Keeping the legs nice and active. We're going to bring the hands together in prayer pose, and then we're going to bring the forearms together. And in doing so, you're going to create like a little 90-degree angle just right over the head. And if the forearms aren't all the way touching, that's totally fine. For me, my arms and shoulders and all the things that require desk sitting, very cranky today. So feel free to stay here, or we can start flowing with it. We're going to reach the fingertips backward, keeping the legs engaged, keeping the core engaged. Maybe you tap the fingers onto the earth, and then we're going to bring the arms apart, finding a cactus shape in the arms. And I'm not letting go of those snow angels yet. We're going to snow angel the arms down. Maybe you run your hand along a really great mural. Then we'll reach the arms up, hands in prayer, forearms together, fingertips reach behind you. And then cactus out the arms. And sweep the arms down. So just follow your breath here. Whatever makes sense for the inhales and the exhales, really taking your time. Try not to just force your way through this or speed your way through this. Allow the articulation of the shoulders to happen. Allow yourself to notice, accept, breathe through all the cranky spots of the shoulders. My cranky shoulders start right about here, that cactus shape. And then keep checking back in with the legs. Do you have nice engaged legs and engaged core? And one more time. And arms can end up wherever you want them to, alongside the body, resting on the body, reaching up, dancing, whatever you want to. We're going to keep that left leg extending toward that imaginary wall, and we're going to bring the right knee up kind of towards the chest. We're going to do a lot of 90-degree angle things. So we're going to keep that leg at 90 degrees, the right leg. Check back in with the core. Maybe you rest the hands on the belly, on the low ribs, making sure they're not splaying out. Feel free to stay here. Or with your next breath, just start to press that imaginary wall away with that right leg, and then bring that knee back to that 90-degree-ish angle. I'm obviously not there to bring out my like protractor and compass to make sure that you're actually at a 90-degree angle. So like your version of a 90-degree angle. But again, taking your time here, really moving with the breath. Instead of worrying about getting from point A to point B, enjoy the journey, as cliche as that might be. And one more time, pressing the right foot forward, bringing that right knee in. And however it makes sense in the body, we're just going to slide that right leg right next to the left, pressing the right heel into that imaginary wall. And then we'll bring the left knee up. So again, hands can be resting on the belly, alongside the body, dancing, whatever feels good. Feel free to stay here or follow your breath. Take your time like you're moving through molasses. Bringing the knee in and then pushing the foot away. And one more time, press the foot away, bring the knee in, and we'll slide that left leg to meet the right. Let's stretch the body nice and long, pointing the toes, reaching the hands back. And we'll bring the arms to that cactus shape on the earth. We'll bring the knees, you guessed it, to that 90-degree angle. And with your next exhale, let's lower the knees to the left, any amount, knowing that with your next breath, you'll have to bring the knees back up and then over to the other side. Then again, bring it back up 2 more times on each side. I think that was 2 times. I got really wrapped up in just breathing. It's a good thing. And we'll bring the knees in to the chest. However makes sense in the body. We're gonna come up and over to table pose. So maybe you rock and roll up and down the spine, or maybe you don't. And we'll make our way to table. One thing that I forgot to bring from home is a way to secure the mane. So the hairography is complimentary today. If you want to join in with me and like flipping the hair around to get it out of your face, feel free to do so. It's not required though. We'll bring the wrists underneath the shoulders, the knees underneath the hips, feeling nice and grounded and rooted here. And we're going to move through cat-cow, but we're going to engage this movement starting from the tailbone. So it might take a little extra brain power. Maybe grab a quick sip of coffee before we get started. So starting from the tailbone, we'll start to drop the belly, send the heart forward to cow pose. Exhale, starting from the tailbone, you'll start to round the spine, moving all the way up to the skull as you round the chin. And then starting from the spine to find cow pose. So continue to flow here, follow your breath. Noticing how easy it feels to just get back into the normal rhythm of, oh, this is how we do cat-cow. And how much actual brain power it takes to move through something a little bit different than you're used to. At least for me, it takes extra brain power. And ending on whichever one you're ending with, we'll find that strong table back, belly pulls in, heart reaches forward, crown of the head reaches forward. And we're going to take our right foot and reach it toward the back of the room, keeping the toes on the earth. And we'll find a little rock back and forth, just pressing out through that heel. Feel free to stay here, or we're going to lift the toes off of the earth and find 90-degree angle with that right leg. So imagine that you have like a cute little taster tray on your right foot. I wouldn't recommend doing that. Just imagine. So feel free to stay here. Or with your next exhale, we'll round the spine, keep that 90-degree-ish angle as you bring the knee in toward the nose, and then press it back to that taster tray balance. 2 more times. And the second time, we'll hold it there. Feel free to stay here. Or maybe we start to reach the left hand forward. Maybe we sweep the left hand back. And maybe we make connection between the left hand and the right foot. Maybe your foot wants to be left alone, and that's totally fine. Give it its personal space. Try not to slingshot the foot and the hand as you stretch everything long. And we'll bring everything back to that table pose. And let's round the spine, tuck the chin, sink the hips back, finding high child's pose. Inhale, we'll roll forward, finding cat pose. And we'll flow through this a couple times, rounding to high child. And sending the heart forward to cat pose. And we'll start to find that happy middle ground between cat and cow. Find that really strong table pose again. And we'll sneak the left foot back, keeping the left toes on the earth. And we'll start to press out through that left heel. Maybe you rock a little back and forth. Feel free to stay here, or you can find, boop, that 90-degree angle. And if you want to add boops into your practice, you can. Again, feel free to stay here, or exhale, round the spine, tuck the chin. Find your taster tray leg. That's the technical yoga term for that, is taster tray leg. And one more time to our taster tray leg. Maybe the right hand reaches forward, and maybe that right hand sweeps back, and maybe you make a connection, maybe not. And don't slingshot anything as you reach everything nice and long, and bring everything back to table pose. And we're going to sink back to child's pose for a breath or two. Child's pose is a great time to also get a sip of your beverage, coffee, tea, maybe something stronger. Saturday, we can party. But as you're settling here, just start to reconnect with your breath, knowing that at any point in your practice, you can come back to this space. And with our inhale, let's rise up to table pose. We're gonna tuck the toes, reach the hips up and back, finding downward facing dog. It's only appropriate that I'm doing downward facing dog next to this cute puppy. We're gonna settle in for a couple breaths. So maybe you wag your tail, maybe it's slow, maybe you bounce with it. Maybe you pedal the legs out or roll up onto the tippy toes and press the heels back. And let's start to bend the knees, and we're going to start to walk the hands back to the feet, finding our forward fold at the back of the mat. And then let's start to rise up and reach up, hands reaching up to the sky, and then hands to the heart. Inhale, let's reach. Exhale, let's fold. Inhale, halfway lift and pause. Find that strong table back. And exhale, let's fold. Let's bend the knees and we'll start to walk the hands forward, finding our down dog again. And however it makes sense in the body, we're going to bring the right foot forward. So you can step it forward a couple times, or you can press that right foot toward the back of the room. And with your exhale, you can round the spine, bring the knee in toward the chest, similar to when we were in table pose, and then assist that right foot forward. We're going to stay up on the back toes, and we're going to start to just move forward and back, finding a little bit of movement. As Mickey likes to say, it's as if you're stuck on an elliptical. Horror of horrors. And one thing I love about Mayfly, so many things, but in the morning, there's so many dogs being walked. So if I get really distracted out the window, it's because I'm looking at a puppy. And then we'll bring that left knee down onto the earth. Belly pulls in, heart reaches forward. We'll rise up to our low lunge. This is a lot on that back knee. You can always come up onto the back toes. And with your next breath, we're just going to sink into the hips, kind of making the hips and the legs, for lack of a better term, kind of lazy. And then with our inhale, we're going to engage everything. So you'll feel that front leg pull back, the back leg pull forward, the belly engage, the heart lift. Then exhale, sink back down. Inhale to engage. Exhale, sink. One more time. Actually, we'll stay at the engagement. Feel free to stay here. Or we're gonna take that right hand, bring it onto that front leg. Then I'm a little teapot right on over, opening up the left side body. Maybe those right fingertips reach down toward the earth. You can kind of see them through my legs. Woo. And from here, we're going to twist toward that front leg, finding that revolved low lunge twist. And let's cartwheel the hands down onto the earth. We'll tuck the back toe, lift the back knee, and let's step back, finding downward facing dog. And from down dog, let's roll forward, finding plank, top of a push-up. Knees come down. We'll shine the heart forward, and we'll lower down, taking our entire exhale to lower. We'll shrug the shoulders up, back, and down, sending the heart forward. Little to no weight in the hands. Let's lower down. Pressing back, however it makes sense in the body, to down dog. And from down dog, we'll bring the left foot forward. Again, step it forward how it makes sense, or maybe press that left foot back. Exhale, round the spine, bring that left knee forward and wiggle it in between the hands. We'll stay up on those back toes and we'll start to rock forward and back. Pressing out through that back heel. We'll bring the knee, that right knee, down onto the earth. I'm gonna bring a little extra cushion for my right knee. You know, I never thought I'd be so excited to practice on concrete floors again, right? Belly pulls in, heart reaches forward. We'll reach the arms up to the sky. Now let's sink the hips down. Inhale, let's engage the legs, the low belly. Exhale, sink down. Inhale, engage. Feel that drawing of the front leg backward and the back leg forward. The next time you engage the legs, we'll stay there. We'll bring the left hand onto that front leg and we'll reach the right arm up and over. I'm a little teapot. Opening up the right side body. Feel free to stay here, or maybe you reach those left fingertips down toward the earth. And let's find our revolved twist toward that front leg. Hello, everyone. I can see you. My hair's not obstructing my view. And let's cartwheel the hands down onto the earth. We'll tuck the back toe, lift the back knee, and we're going to step forward, finding our forward fold. Inhale, let's halfway lift. Exhale, let's fold. Inhale, we're going to rise up and reach up. Hairography, flip the hair out of the way. Let's bring the hands to the heart. Inhale, we'll reach. Exhale, let's fold. Inhale, halfway lift and hold. Exhale, fold. One more time. Inhale, rise up and reach up. And hands to the heart. We'll add on this time. Inhale, reach. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, let's fold. Let's bend the knees, plant the hands. We're going to step that right foot way back. Left foot stays forward. We're going to plant that back foot. We're going to come up into warrior one. That's a lot on the back knee. I invite you to pop up onto those back toes. But before we rise up, let's pull the belly in, shine the heart forward, really power through the legs to rise up. And can we start to find that engagement in the legs that we had when we were in the low lunge, where you feel the drawing of that front foot backwards, and not necessarily that back leg forward, but that rotation of the hips forward. But you're actively pressing out through that back heel. We'll reach the hands up to the sky. And we're gonna bring the hands to prayer position with the forearms glued together again. And just like when we were on our backs, we're going to reach the fingertips behind us. Then we'll split the arms apart, finding our cactus arms, and then snow angel the arms down. Reach the arms forward, prayer pose, forearms together. Reach the arms back. 2 more times flowing through this. Can you keep the core engaged? Can you keep the legs nice and active? And next time that the arms kind of snow angel down onto the earth, we're gonna keep them reaching back. Feel the shoulder blades engage on the backside of the body. Feel the heart reach forward. And we're going to lift the heart up toward the sky, just a mini belly stretch here. Then we're gonna send the heart forward, keeping your superhero cape. Feel free to stay here. Maybe you find a moment of balance, but we are going to sneak that right foot next to the left foot, chair pose. We still have a superhero cape on. So it's like superhero chair. Then we'll reach the arms up to the sky and let's fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift, send the heart forward. Exhale, fold. Bend the knees, plant the hands. Right foot stays forward, left foot steps back, planting through that left foot. Find those nice, strong, active legs. Belly pulls in, heart reaches forward. Rising up, warrior 2 or crescent, depending on how the back ankle and knee are feeling. Belly's pulled in, strong legs. And now we're gonna flip it and reverse it. So we're gonna bring the hands to that prayer position. We're gonna bring the forearms together. We're gonna reach them down and then fly the arms back and we'll sweep them up. Prayer hands, forearms come together. And if you wanna get real crazy with it, as the arms reach that prayer position, you can always lean forward, fly the arms back, and then come upright. So you reach the arms up. This is why it's so hard to do yoga when you have a mane. I'm getting my hair caught in my arms. Hands come to that prayer position. We're gonna reach forward and let's fly the arms back, finding our superhero cape. Feel free to stay here. Maybe you find a moment of flight. Then we're going to sneak the left foot to meet the right. Superhero chair. Reach the arms up. Exhale, let's forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. We'll bend the knees, plant the hands. We're gonna step back, finding downward facing dog. And from down dog, feel free to stay here. We're going to move through that vinyasa, rolling forward to plank. Knees up or down, heart reaches forward as you lower down. Shrugging the shoulders up, back, and down. Maybe put a little more weight into the hands and rise up a little bit more. Coming on down. However it makes sense in the body, we're gonna press back, downward facing dog. From down dog, let's step our way forward, however it makes sense in the body, to our forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, we're going to rise up and reach up. And hands to heart. Inhale, let's reach. And we're going to bend the knees, just a tiny baby chair. We're gonna grab the left wrist with the right hand and reach up and over, opening up the side body, actively rooting through that left foot. We'll come back to the center, grabbing right wrist with left hand, reaching up and over. Coming back to the center, reach the hands up. We're gonna bring the hands to the heart. Taking a couple breaths here to reconnect with the breath, to reconnect with your intention. And just doing a quick check-in of the body, seeing if there's extra places that you might need to breathe, send a little extra love to. If you're feeling golden, you're like, let's get moving again. We'll inhale deeply, and then exhale. Nice long exhale. Blinking the eyes open. We'll keep the hands at the heart. We're gonna root through that left foot. We're gonna, just a pre-warning, we're gonna be standing on one foot for quite some time. There will be moments of pause, but we're gonna be flowing. It's not going to be graceful. We're going to fall out. So we're just gonna be okay with that going into this, that you don't get extra points for staying on your one foot the entire time. So just be okay with falling out. Life lesson, right? So we're gonna root through the left foot. We're gonna bring the right knee, you guessed it, to a 90-degree angle. And let's press that right foot forward into that imaginary wall. We'll bend the knee. We're going to move the right heel toward the right butt cheek. Obviously, there's a lot of space in between mine, so it doesn't matter how close it gets. And then we're going to extend that right foot backward. And we're just going to step into our warrior one for a breath. Lean forward, find that flight, bend the knee, bring the heel in toward the butt. Then we'll bring the knee up, send it forward. Then we'll bend the knee, step down to chair pose. So that's our flow. We're gonna do it a couple times and then we'll have a moment to hold. So from chair pose, root through the left foot, knee comes up, press the foot forward, bend the knee, heel comes to the hip, to the butt, send the foot back, step back, warrior one. Walls, murals are fair game. If you have there's a bar in front of me that you can't see, bars are also fair game to help. Use all of the assists that you need, or just step out. Heel comes to hip, knee comes up, right foot presses forward. Knee bends, and we step back, sit back to chair pose. This time I'm not going to cue it, we'll just flow. Follow your breath. Sitting back to chair. Your left leg's probably talking to you. Just say, hello, left leg. Thanks for being here. Root through that left foot. We're gonna reach the arms up. Press the foot forward. So continue, if you want to, you can continue to flow through this, or next time that heel comes in toward the hip, you can catch it and find your dancer pose. Feel free to stay here. I'm gonna step out of it. My left heel is, my left ankle's really talking to me. But feel free to stay here in your dancer pose, or you can flow through that. And no matter where you're at, if you're moving, if you're holding, we are going to step back to a crescent pose. So whenever you're ready, we'll make our way there. And then from crescent, we're going to open up warrior two, facing the left edge of the mat. I'm going to face you. It's my side change dance. Finding our warrior two, let's reach the arms out and let's reverse the warrior. Pressing back through warrior two, over to side angle. Press back warrior two. We're gonna reach the arms up, straighten the legs. We're going to parallel the feet towards the left edge of the mat. Actually, right edge. Yeah, right edge of the mat. There we go. Whichever edge of the mat. Parallel the feet. Point the toes out. Pop the heels in. If you're a dancer, this is second position. And we'll just bring the hands on the hips, nothing too crazy. And we're going to bend the knees. Finding a version of goddess pose or horse pose, depending on how you're feeling today. Maybe if you're playlisting, we're now at the cover of Ain't No Mountain High Enough, so maybe you do some movements of Ain't No Mountain High, Ain't No Valley Low. Or feel free to stay here to dance. Or you can start to bend into that left knee as you straighten that right leg. Maybe you come up onto that right heel and coming over to the other side. You can bring your mountain high enough, valley low enough, river wide enough. Listen, there's not a pandemic bad enough that will keep me from getting to you, babe. One more time on each side. We'll find our goddess pose again. We'll press through the soles of the feet to straighten the legs. Let's cartwheel the hands toward the front of the mat. Option to move through the vinyasa. Option to drink whatever your beverage is. Option for child's pose. But we will be meeting in downward facing dog. From down dog, let's make our way to the top of the mat, finding our forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, we'll fold. Inhale, we'll rise up and reach up. And hands to the heart. Other side. So we'll root through the right foot this time. Left knee comes up, find that 90-degree angle. And we'll press the left foot forward. Bend the left knee. Bring the left heel towards the left butt. Send it through a warrior three to your warrior one. Find that warrior three as the heel comes in, knee comes up, foot presses forward, bend that knee, step back to chair. Coming on up, pressing the foot forward, finding that half dancer flamingo pose, then finding your warrior one, through warrior three, woo, finding flamingo, knee up, foot presses forward, knee comes in, and chair pose. So this time we'll add the arms in, option to keep flowing through it, or option to hold. Reach the arms up, bring the knee in. Maybe you find that dancer pose. Maybe you keep moving. And if you found dancer, maybe you start to actively press the foot into the hand into the foot. Either way, no matter what you're doing, we'll find our way to crescent pose. And from crescent, let's open up warrior two. And let's reverse the warrior. Pressing back through warrior two, over to side angle. Pressing back warrior two. We'll reach the arms up as we pivot the toes toward the front of the mat. The side of the mat. We're going to hinge at the hips, coming into a forward fold. So option to hang out here in your forward fold and just love life, swing side to side, bounce around, whatnot. But if you want to take that side to side movement that we were doing the first time around, move it in a little bit of a deeper variation. What you can do is you can start to bend into, you'll turn the toes out slightly. You'll bend into that left knee and you'll come up on to the right heel. Then you can just press into the feet, moving over to the other side. And feel free to keep the hands on the earth as you move side to side. You want to get crazy with it, you keep the hands at the heart and move side to side. One more time on each side. And we'll come back to that wide-legged forward fold. We'll walk the hands to the front edge of the mat. And this time we're going to step forward, finding our forward fold. And if it's accessible, we're gonna have you grab onto the front edge of the mat. Just take a nice fistful on each side. And you're gonna bend the knees, deepening the hip creases and trying to keep the belly on the legs. You're going to start to straighten the legs, holding on to the front of the mat, kind of as leverage. And we're gonna bend into the knees again, using the mat as leverage, coming into that deep forward fold. And if holding onto the mat is not going to happen in your body, you can hold onto the backs of the calves. One more time, finding that really active and deep hip creased forward fold. And we'll release the hands, bend the knees, plant the hands. We're gonna step back, one last vinyasa. So feel free to hang out in child's pose or down dog or table pose, or rolling forward to plank, knees up or down, heart reaches forward, lowering down, heart shines forward. And we're going to make our way back to table pose. So if it feels weird to just go through vinyasa and pop into table pose, feel free to go to down dog and do what you need to. But from table pose, let's move through cat-cow a few times. Following your breath. And cat-cow in your own fashion. You don't necessarily have to have it start and end at the base of the spine. And if this is feeling really dreamy, feel free to stay here. Or you can find that strong table back and sneak the right foot back, press out through that right heel. Maybe you find that rock back and forth. We'll bring the right knee to meet the left. And then maybe that left foot sneaks back, pressing out through the heel, maybe rocking back and forth a little bit. And we'll keep the left foot stretching, reaching back. We're going to roll onto that right hand, stacking the shoulders, stacking the hips, coming to a modified side plank. And we're using this modified side plank really just to open the left side body. So we'll reach the left hand up and over and just allow those left ribs to puff up toward the sky. Breathing deeply. And we'll engage those left ribs to find that nice long line, reaching the left hand up toward the sky. And we'll bring left hand onto the earth, bring that left knee to meet the right, and we'll just sneak that right foot back and find our modified side plank on the other side. Taking that right hand and reaching it up and over and puffing the right ribs up toward the sky. Breathing deeply through that right side body. Imagine that somebody's grabbing your right fingertips and lengthening the arm forward. And we'll use the right ribs to engage the side body. Find that nice long line of energy. Right hand comes down. Right knee meets left. However it makes sense in the body, we're going to come onto the booty. And we'll plant the feet, keeping a bend in the knees. We're going to bring the hands behind the hips. With your inhale, we're just going to send the heart up toward the sky. And think of this just like when we were opening up the side body in that modified side plank. So feel the sternum reaching forward, feel the shoulder blades helping to press the heart toward the knees, up toward the sky. And use the breath to allow the collarbones to broaden, to create a little more space. It doesn't have to be graceful. Maybe you grab a sweater on the way down, but we're just going to make our way onto the earth. We'll keep a bend in the knees. And we'll take the right knee, bring it in toward the chest, holding onto the leg. And maybe you sneak that left leg out long. And feel free to pass that right knee side to side, bringing it out to the side and then guiding it across the body. And next time that the right leg comes across the body, allow it to come all the way over, finding that supine twist. If this isn't your favorite version of a twist, feel free to wiggle things around and find your favorite version. The right arm can really do whatever. It can just be alongside the body. It can be in that cactus shape. It can be out in that T shape. Sometimes I like to just rest it on my low back, depending on how my low back is feeling. We'll come back to the center. Holding on to the back side of that right leg. Let's press the right foot up toward the sky. Feel free to keep a bend in the knee, depending on how the hamstrings are feeling. And we'll take a moment to give our right foot some love. Roll the ankle around one way, then the other. Spread the toes wide, scrunch them in. Hear all the snap, crackles, and pops. We'll bend that right knee, hugging it in one more time. We'll bring that right foot on the earth, keeping the knee bent. And we'll sneak that left knee in toward the chest, holding onto the leg. And maybe that right leg sneaks out to straight. And maybe you start to pass the knee from one hand to another. Next time that the knee comes across the body, just guide it all the way over, finding your supine twist on this side, recognizing that each side is different. And so you might need a little extra love on this side, a little bit more breathing, maybe a little different shape in the body. And allow that left arm to make its own journey as to what it wants to do. I'll bring that knee in toward the chest. Holding on to the backside of the leg, let's press the foot up toward the sky. Taking a moment to give your left foot all the same amount of love. Then we'll bring the left knee in toward the chest for one last hug in. And then if the body feels like you need a couple extra movements, a couple extra poses before settling in, feel free to move through that. Or if you're ready to just chill out and get into that pose, that final resting pose, feel free to get to it. And just like how we began class, it's your choice on what you want the pose to look like. If you want to come back to that great big starfish or try it out for the first time, feel free to do that. Knees can be bent. Hands can be resting on the heart or alongside the body. Start to drop into that moment of reset, that moment of pause, that moment of being done with whatever has happened. And give yourself this space, this moment, this energy. And we'll start to deepen the breath, inviting movement back into the hands and the feet, maybe touching each fingertip with the thumb. Awakening the body and the breath. Taking your time to press up to a comfortable seat. Bringing the hands to heart. Just taking another moment to savor this space, this energy, this community that you've created, that you're a part of. I'm ready. Know that you're ready to go out and do good. The light within me honors the light within each and every one of you. Namaste. And cheers. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. So much love to the community, so much love to Mayfly for opening up their doors and inviting us in here without derailing everything. There's the rest of the mural. So good, right? But be sure to stop by and check out Mayfly. They are an incredible group, incredible space. They have really great beverages, all the great beverages. And if you're drying out for January, that's fine because they have really great sodas, CBD products, things like that. Or you can get a beautiful bottle of wine and enjoy it February 1st when you're done drying out. They also have really great merch repping today. So there's something for everyone. They even have coffee if you need some coffee beans. But if you participated today and you swing by and let them know, hey, I was part of the yoga and beer class, they are offering 10% off for our yogis, which is so generous and so wonderful. So be sure to check them out and support them. They're just wonderful people. But let me just take a quick peek. Thank you everyone so much for joining. Thank you. Thank you. Everyone have a beautiful weekend. Information for donations is in the description for the class. We do recommend $5 per yogi, but good vibes and love sent my way is also a beautiful donation as well. At least in Portland, it looks like blue skies might be popping out. So I am about to go be outside all day. Have a beautiful weekend. Go do good.